I've been a board member at St Patrick's for a number of years now. Our boys came to school here and they left and I didn't. I was on the board at the time and have continued that involvement because I feel that it's such an important place, and I wanted to continue to give back to the school community for as long as I was able to, even though the boys had moved on. I think from the minute you walk through the front gates at St Pat's, you are made to feel very welcome. And that's everything from the boys out in the yard, wandering around. They've always got a smile for you, whether you know them or not. And it's just wonderful to walk in and hear their laughter and their enjoyment of the place. And then, of course, as you walk through the buildings, you do feel like you're part of something that's been here for a very long time, because the history and the tradition are still very evident and still very much a part of the school community. So you do feel like you're a part of something special and something that's gone long before. And the school's very good at providing opportunities for fellowship, for companionship. It celebrates things that are absolutely worth celebrating, both in an academic, a sporting, a tradition sense. It is really a valuable place or a special place to be and to be part of all that. And it does make you feel like you belong, and it's very important for everyone to have somewhere where they do feel like they belong. And I think the boys and families at St Pat's feel that very much. My involvement with the school has opened me up to some opportunities that I may not have had in terms of being able to provide support through the trauma that's been associated with some of the history connected not only to this college but to this community. And it has been a real privilege to be a board member and to walk beside some of the survivors of sexual abuse, but also some of the staff and other people who are supporting the work that is happening to make sure we right the wrongs of the past, that we acknowledge that. I don't think I would have had that opportunity had I not been a part of St Patrick's College, and it's been really special and a real privilege and a very humbling experience to be part of that as well. There are so many influential people at St Patrick's College, and it's really hard to single anyone out. But if I were to nominate a couple, I would say certainly Dr. Peter Casey, who invited me onto the board in the first instance. I think he showed great leadership at a time when the college needed new direction. I believe that leaders are a moment in time, and they're great leaders because of the time and place that they insert themselves or they are inserted. And I would think Dr. Casey was certainly of that ilk. He was the right man at the time the college needed it. I think John Crowley and the work he did around the Royal Commission into sexual abuse was admirable in the faith and the compassion that he showed during that time. He was a great inspiration. And I also think long-serving staff member Howard Clark is an inspiration to so many on so many levels. And we're very fortunate to have him as a part of our community, as a college friend, and as the Ballarat wider community as well. Very fortunate to have a man like Howard in its midst. I'm really proud of the way both our boys, who were at different ends of the education spectrum, when our oldest son was in year 12, our youngest son was in year 7, I'm really proud of the way they embraced the opportunities that St Pat's gave to them. And they really did involve themselves in the school as best they possibly could. But I think beyond that, once they've both left school, and they have both left school now, they continue that connection. They're very proud to wear their St Pat's uniform. They're very proud to tell people they went to St Patrick's College, and they're still really well connected with the school and the friends that they made here. It's a wonderful thing to see when they are with their friends, and you can look at them and know that you've known most of them from their days at St Patrick's College. And I think that bond that the school helps create and facilitate with boys and their friendships groups is really special, and will stand them in good stead for a long time to come. I think the boys were very attuned to the history of St Pat's and the Royal Commission and the stories that were coming out of that. And I think it was as a parent, it was a challenge to talk to them about, have those conversations with them to reassure them that while there is a history there, it's not the St Pat's community that they know today, and that it's important that we support the St Pat's community while acknowledging and trying to do what we can as a community to right the wrongs of the past as well. But those wrongs don't define us. And we had lots of good conversations in our family about what it means to be a member of St Pat's College when the Christian community probably wasn't seen in the best of light because of the media surrounding all of that. I would have to say the hardest moment for us as a family was probably the COVID year of 2021 when Isaac was in year 12. I think that was hard for everyone for a number of reasons. It was very hard to keep year 12 boys engaged and connected, and I think they should all be really proud that they all survived that and that the school did such an amazing job to support them through that. And I said to Isaac at the time that yes, it was difficult, but to really live in the moment and embrace those challenges, because he's living through history, and all the boys here, as indeed all year 12 boys and girls across Ballarat, were living a moment in history that they will talk to their grandchildren about. And the fact that they made it through that in varying shapes and forms to varying degrees of success or otherwise is something that they should all be really proud of, and to carry that with them, that challenge and the fact that they overcame that obstacle in their lives is something that they should take forward with them as well. Our boys remain strongly connected to St Pat's, to the staff, to the teachers they had during their years here, but most importantly to their friends here as well. And having those connections, lifelong connections, is what we hope they will be, will mean that they always have something or someone that they can come back to who understands them and their journey and where they've come from. And I would hope that that gives them a sense of belonging well into the future, that St Pat's was so much more than just a school for them. It was a special place where they were a valued and important part of the school community at the time, and will be into the future as well. I'd perhaps like to talk about compassion. And when you look at the world we live in today and what our young people have been through with pandemics, natural disasters, floods, fires, climate change, you can't help but think that they've got a difficult road ahead of them, and that must play on the minds of young people, that the world they thought was safe and secure has thrown up some challenges for them in recent years, and perhaps has destabilised that sense of security in some cases. And I think when you think about compassion, it's about understanding the journey that others are on and how these things might be playing on their minds, and being open to listening, to understanding, and to making allowances, if you like, for the stories of other people, and understanding, coming from a place of empathy and sympathy and compassion, and being kind to each other through that. And I think St Pat's does teach boys that compassion is a really important value that they should carry with them all through their lives. And our boys had a number of experiences at St Pat's where they were able to gain a small understanding of how some other people live and what the day-to-day struggles of other people look like through the homelessness program. Even being fortunate enough to travel overseas and to see that other countries don't have the opportunities and the benefits that we do. It's really, the opportunity is there for them to open their minds and to understand and see the experiences of other people and have compassion where people need it, and it helps them to carry the burden a little bit lighter by knowing that they've got somebody out there who genuinely cares and will help them. I think once you're a Paddy's boy, you're always a Paddy's boy in the experience of my children. Whether or not old boys choose to formally join with the Old Collegians Association, whether or not they choose to come back and participate in their class reunions, whether or not they just choose to receive the Shamrock on an ongoing basis and either read or contribute to that, I think St Pat's does provide them with an opportunity to feel into the future they do still belong here and that they are a part of a special community ongoing. I think the opportunities that the old boys present to celebrate, to contribute, to have a lifelong connection is something really special and valuable. I think this is a community that really cares. It's not just a staff who really cares, it's not just boys who really care for each other, but I think St Pat's has an ability to wrap around its boys and its community, and there are opportunities there if you want to take them. This school offers the same opportunities that a lot of other schools offer. Each boy is just encouraged to embrace all those opportunities to get the best out of themselves, whatever that looks like for them. Everybody comes from somewhere else, and everything that's gone before contributes to what we are today. And that's the same here at St Pat's, where 130 years of history and tradition have all come together to make St Pat's what it is today. And that's thousands and thousands of boys who've gone before and who've all made a contribution to St Pat's being the school that it is today. And I think if you lose sight of your past or where you've come from, you risk moving into the future without a clear vision of where you want to be. And I think the way that St Pat's embraces and celebrates its traditions and moves forward with a full knowledge of where it's come from stands it in really good stead for doing more great things into the future. I would like to see St Pat's into the future build on the strong foundations that it's got now, that the ethos it espouses to in the 21st century or in the early part of the 21st century are carried forward, and that we strive for excellence, that we don't let things stand in our way, and that we each continue to contribute and to be part of it and have that real sense of community, and that we do offer excellence in education across the board and help boys, and who knows, maybe one day girls into the future, be their very best. And you can't ask for much more than that. I certainly think we have a renewed focus on the academic success of our boys, and I think we should continue to do that. I think no matter what your son is interested in, whether it's sport, arts, academia, they should be able to come to St Pat's and know that they're going to have ample opportunity to excel in those fields. And we've, over the last decade or so, made great investment in facilities that we've had at St Pat's, and I think we want to look to build on that and really cement the foundations of quality education, no matter what your interest is. I think as a society, there's a number of things I'd like to change. I think mental health for boys, for young people generally, is a real concern. I think the perception that some have that same-sex schools are not necessarily the way of the future. Probably a couple of things that I'd like to change. In terms of St Pat's specifically, if I could wave a magic wand, I'd love us to have more space to do more great things for the boys. But that's a challenge that a lot of schools, particularly schools in urban areas like ours, challenge all face. But yeah, I think just to really focus on the well-being of the boys and get the very best out of them is something that we should continue to focus on. We were having a discussion about what it means to be Catholic. And I think this was at the height of negative media around the Royal Commission. And one of my boys asked why we were Catholic. And I talked about Catholic is not the church you go to for me. It's not the prayers you say. It's not what the priest says we should or shouldn't be doing, but it is about how we act. And I asked him to think about when his grandmother died and the number of people who came to his grandfather's house with food, with flowers, with friendly words, with comfort, and the number of people who attended her funeral. And I said to him, that's what Catholic is to me. And you may not want to go to church, you may not say prayers regularly, but if you're a good person and you reach out to others and you look out for others, then I think that to me is being Catholic.